Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dungeon Doom podcast. I am Ben Raven. He is Kory Woods.
What up, though?
And we are joined by a very special guest today. Hall of Fame worthy guest, in my opinion, Lomas Brown. Lomas, how are you doing?
I'm great. How you? Wait, let me hit you with a what up, though.
That's right. That's right. You got to match Kory. That's right. Yeah. All right, so we're going to talk to Lomas today. The Lions are doing something really cool. They've done a great job. The case for Lomas Brown for the Hall of Fame. We got some reader-submitted questions. Then after talking to Lomas for a little bit, Kory and I will go back and forth and answer some more questions. But we're starting out with the main event here today, Lomas. First off, before I get into the details of the case for Lomas Brown, what do you think of that effort from the team? And just, the quotes. I'm looking at the quotes that they got for you, and it's Rondé Barber. Yeah. We got Richard Dent, Tony Dungy, Joe Green, John Gruden, Charles Haley, Calvin, Dick LeBeau, Bruce Matthews, Mike Munchak, Bill Polian, Barry Sanders, Mike Singletary, Dick Vermeil, Michael Strahan.
That's a heavy
hitting class coming to bat for you, man. Just like what does that mean to you?
It's humbling. It really is, man, because those are guys that have the yellow jackets. Those are guys that played the game at the highest level. And, guys that I played against, and for them to say some of the things that they're saying, man, this is just humbling, man. And I really, really appreciate the effort that the Lions put in on this. And I really appreciate those quotes from those guys because it makes me feel like, I did something that was worthy of those guys saying that.
Yeah. Lomas, when you look back on your career, what are you most proud of when you look back on your 18 years?
I think that right there, Ben, just being able to last as long as I did and play and get an opportunity, because I look back, if I wouldn't have played as long as I played, I wouldn't have been able to say I played in 2 Super Bowls and was able to win a Super Bowl. And, back then, it was kind of a badge of honor to suit up every game and to try to play every game. And I just remember all the preparation going into the off seasons for me to get ready to play a season. So I think that's it for me, man, just to be able to play 18 years.
Before I turn to Kory, I do want to run through your durability. Most games played by a tackle in NFL history. Tied for the first most games started by a tackle in NFL history. Most games played by an NFL lineman, second place, trailing only Bruce Matthews. What went into your durability? I know you're a big, tough guy, man. Always, but what went into that durability? In that era too, that's pretty unheard of.
Yeah, I think just trying to take care of myself. So, I have to credit the great Mackie Shieldstone, who's a trainer that's trained some of the best. I'm talking about from boxers, Riddick Bowe, the Evander Holyfield, to Serena Williams, and just all the people that he's trained. And I have to thank my great friend Eddie Murray, because Eddie is the one that introduced me to Mackie. And by me going down to New Orleans and training with him every year, I think that's what helped me, kind of last and kind of build that resilience, get my body ready to take that punishment and deliver punishment. So I really credit him for a lot of the, a lot of my longevity that I had in the league.
Yeah.
Lomas, I want to talk about how clean you were as a player. I'm looking up this stat, and this is, you got to correct me if I'm wrong, but this is crazy. From 1990 to 2000, that's 11 seasons, 161 games, and 160 starts. You only had 3 holding penalties?
I know. Hey, look, Kory, you had to be good at holding because you hold every play. I was just good at doing it, man, so not getting caught doing it. So, yeah, man, it's a trick and it's a myth to the madness. So I think I was just good at holding. But I'm telling you, you ask any lineman, I'm telling you, they can call you any play for holding because, you had to. These guys you played up against were so good, so crafty and stuff. So, you just had to learn a few tricks to the trade.
Yeah, I was looking this up, just wrote some stuff down, from since the NFL AFL merger in 1970, there were 10 offensive tackles that have earned at least 7 Pro Bowls and three All Pros. One of them is not eligible yet for the Hall of Fame. 8 already in there. There's one more guy that is now eligible. That's you. Just are you shocked that you were already not in there?
Not really. And the reason why I say that is because I look back and think about it. Emmitt Smith, off that great offensive line he only has one guy in, the late, great Larry Allen. Yeah. I look at the Hogs, one of the greatest offensive lines to play, and I think they only have one member in there. And you look at some of the great offensive lines, the Steelers and you look at some of these great offensive linemen, and they only have one guy in there. So, it just seems like it's a little harder for us to get in there. So I just kind of chalked that up to that it was just the nature of my position why, I probably wasn't in there yet.
Yeah.
Now, this last one, is it true that you never wanted to play football? You wanted to be a trombone player?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So funny story. That's why I was in the band my 7th, 8th, and 9th grade year. My first day of high school, went in, signed up for classes, and I'm coming out the auditorium, and somebody was like, hey. So I turned around, not knowing that was the principal, and he called me over, and he asked me, he said, did you sign up for varsity sports? And I was like, no. So he just grabbed me by the arm and took me back in the auditorium, and he signed me up for varsity sports. I had to wait to the last period of the day to find out what varsity sports was. Of course, it was football that he signed me up for. So I was always the type of kid, I didn't never want to disappoint anybody. So I went out there, and as they say, the rest was history. So his name was Alex Bromere. He's since passed, but every time I would go back to school and visit at my high school, I would always thank him, because if he wouldn't have grabbed me by the arm and signed me up, I would have never played football, man. I thought them dudes were crazy, man. Out there getting hit and all the laps and coaches yelling at them. I was like, nah, I didn't want any parts of that.
How big were you already when he grabbed you?
Yeah, I had a little size. I was probably, my first year of high school, I was maybe 6'3", probably 190 pounds. So I was slim, but I guess he must have seen something that I didn't see,
Absolutely.
Oh, man. That's definitely a life-changing story right there.
Yeah, that's really cool. Just one more from me before we get into a couple fan questions for a mailbag. But I think your greatest case is not just the durability, and obviously when you block for someone like Barry Sanders, people are going to be like, well, it was Barry Sanders, but I think the thing that gets overlooked in the 90s, there were some high-powered passing attacks too. You weren't just run blocking. I mean, Herman Moore, Brett Pierman, those were some legit air attacks. So just how do you combat that? Because obviously Barry is special from another planet, but you weren't just run blocking, you were pass blocking your butt off too for some high powered attacks.
No, that's a great question, because a lot of people don't realize, and I try to tell them, don't forget we were in the run and shoot offense. And you remember the run and shoot is 4 wide receivers, you have no tight end, you have no fullback. So as a run and shoot, if you get beat as a lineman on the pass protection, your quarterback is dead. There's nobody else there to kind of help you, to kind of nudge and do all that. And we ran that offense for, I want to say maybe 3-4 years under Mouse Davis and June Jones. And that's a very hard offense to run as an offensive lineman. It was no slide protection. You couldn't slide because like I say, you didn't have tight ends and you didn't have fullbacks. So, and then another thing was I was in a whole bunch of different offenses, man. We had the Silver Streak. We had we had all kind of crazy offenses. I don't know how many offensive coordinators I had in my 11 years with the Lions, but it was quite a few offensive coordinators that I had. So my one badge of honor is saying that I played in the run and shoot offense, and that's a very, very hard offense to play in because of the lack of people that you have to help block.
Yeah, and for anybody wondering what the run and shoot is, why don't you look up June Jones's offense and see how tough that is on life for offensive tackles? Because
Yeah.
it leads into our first fan question pretty perfectly. Because you got no tight end help, you rarely got running back help, and True Spiller wants to know, what was your secret to blocking Richard Dent? I swear you were the only offensive tackle that could block Dent when he was on the Bears.
Yeah, man, that dude, you talking about a beast. Like I say, that I always name the 3 toughest guys I ever blocked was Lawrence Taylor was number 1, Richard Dent was number 2, and the late great Chris Dolman was number 3. And going up against Richard Dent, man, first of all, his nickname was Dirty Dent. So that lets you know right then, everything ain't going to be clean that day. It's going to be something that happens throughout that game where it's a poke in the eye. It might be a twist. It might be something, but something's going to happen, man. But for me, man, it was just getting prepared for him because I knew what I was facing in Richard Dent. He has so many moves, especially, at that outside, that stand-up position. He could put his hand in the dirt. He could stand up and rush you. He could bull rush you. He could run around you. He had a lot of tricks, man. I think he was one of the most underrated defensive ends during that era, man, because of everybody that was alongside of him on that 85 Bears team. But man, to me, he was the catalyst that made it work. So I think my thing was a lot of preparation and a lot of prayers facing Richard Dent.
Saying your prayers and eating your vitamins.
That's right.
Lomas, we got one from Big Drew. He asked, is there anyone in the current NFL playing offensive line that reminds you of yourself?
Wow, that's a great question. I probably would say, that's a good question now. I probably would say the big guy probably from Tampa Bay, the Worth guy.
Worths? Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably say him. He's bigger than I was, but just as, how fluid he is coming out on his pass sets, the way he moves. I would say he's probably one of the guys that I was looking at. That is a great question. I'm going to have to start looking at a little bit more guys. And the guy right now that I'm kind of watching is the rookie from Kansas City. The left tackle that they have the rookie that they drafted this year, kind of a slimmer guy, but a guy, like I say, that can get out on this pass sets. And if he has the run block, you can run block. For me, my first 6 years in the league, I played at 315. So I was more like a mauler. My last 12 years in the league, because of knee problems, I had to play between 275 and 280. So I became more of a technician then. So, I would just probably say those 2 guys right now kind of remind me.
And we'll see Josh Simmons this weekend.
That's right. You're exactly right. Yep.
So you dropped 35, 40 pounds to stay on the field. I mean, that speaks to your commitment to durability and being out there for your team right there. I didn't realize you were dropping 315 to 280 something. That's not easy, man.
Yeah, I had to because of don't forget, Ben, I played on the carpet over concrete called turf. At the Silverdome. That stuff there, man. And I had a lot of knee problems after my 6th year. So for me to combat that knee problem, I had to stay between that weight. The minute I got over 280, I knew it because my knee, I would have problems with my knee. So for me to stay in the league, I had to stay in between that weight. And to be honest with you, I think it did me good. The reason why I say that is because, like I said, my first 6 years, I was more of a mauler, more so than anything else. And because I wasn't as heavy as I was my last 12 years, I had to learn technique if I was going to survive in the NFL.
How much you've been on the Ford Field turf? How much different is that turf?
Man, oh my goodness, man. I'm telling you, man, it was like It was just like carpet over concrete, man. It is, man. Sometimes I just want to go in Ford Field and just lay down and take a nap, man. It feels so good playing on that stuff there, man.
I don't know how good y'all got it.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, it was rough. The Silverdome was rough, man. And then a lot of people don't realize, if you look at some of the old footage, I played in tennis shoes on that. So you know what I'm saying? Because you were nervous about playing with any knobs or any grips, because you were nervous your foot was going to get stuck and you could tear your knee up on that. We seen plenty of guys do that on the Silverdome turf. So I always played in tennis shoes when I played at home.
That's a different world right there. That's a different world right there. We got one from Felix Davis. He wants to know, what is one of your greatest memories playing for the Lions, and what makes you so proud of these current Lions teams?
Yeah, I think the thing for me, I always go back to 1991 when we had the best year that I was here. It was a bittersweet year because, as you guys know, what happened to Mike Utley during the game, getting paralyzed during the season, and then Eric Andolsak getting killed right after the season, but it was the best season that we had while I was a Lion, going 12-4, getting to the NFC Championship game against Washington, and of course beating Dallas that year. And, I look at it and I kind of compare the talent we had, because I think the stat was, I think we had 14 Pro Bowl players throughout, between special teams, defense, and offense, guys that were drafted there. And, you look at this team now, and you look at the talent on this team, man, all pros and Pro Bowl players are littered on the 2025 Lions team now. And for us, we were ascending. We're supposed to ascend with Dallas. And like I say, with the injuries we had, we kind of went on a roller coaster. But this team here, they're so young and they're ascending. If they could stay healthy, man, I think they're going to keep ascending. So I think that's the biggest thing for the teams. But I just think if you look at the talent on our teams and look at the talent on this team, it's comparable. It really is comparable to what they have today.
Hey, Lomas, we got one from my guy Brian. Even with the mistakes that Giovanni Manu had out there in Cincinnati, do you think that he has the makeup to be a quality starting offensive tackle?
I do. I mean, so I gave him a grade of a C. Now we know the two pass rushes, but think about this. Not 7 starts. He went into that game with 7 plays.
Yeah.
Going up against an all-pro guy in his first action on the road now. So it was so many factors that went into that game, and I thought he did pretty good. Like I say, Trey Hendricks got a hell of a jump on him on that one sack. I don't know what any tackle could have did, that time. And then the veteran that Trey Hendricks was, the other move was just a nice move. But if you think about it, I thought he tried to finish in the run game, which that's what you want your linemen to do. And really, if you look at it, we were running 3 tights, but the majority of those 3 tights when we had them in the game, other than maybe 2 plays, were lined up over Penei Sewell. So he had the open side. So I thought he did pretty good. And it's just a matter of him getting experience, getting game experience, and just kind of knowing the atmosphere he's in and just being able to handle that. And the one good thing, because I was the first one to meet him off the field, he was the first one through the tunnel. The good thing is, the knock on him was that if he had a bad play, he would just concentrate on that and stack other bad plays on top of that. I thought he was able to wash that bad play out and just continue to play at a good level. So I gave him a C off that first game.
Yeah, and I think people overlook the challenge. Trey's got 35 sacks in 2 seasons.
Yes.
7 offensive snaps. You find out earlier in the week you're starting for Decker on the fly at left tackle. And I mean, I think both of the sacks he gave up, he was on an island. When you're on an island with someone like that. So, yeah, and I'll just say Manu completely owned his performance too. He's like, there is a standard on this offensive line. There is a standard I hold myself to. And everything was just, I want to get better. I want to get better. That wasn't good enough. I think the thing that people don't know about him is that his mentality, I mean, he is latched on to Decker. He's latched on to Hank Fraley. He's latched on to anybody in that room that to just grow and learn. And I mean, he's coming from the University of British Columbia.
Yes.
A year and a half later, he's starting against Trey Hendrickson in Cincinnati. So I just think, like, this is still a project player, but, like, yes, it wasn't perfect, but, like, man, those are only going to make him better.
Yeah. Look, we better just embrace him while we have him. I'm telling you, Hank Fraley is if not the best offensive line coach in this league, he's one of the best offensive line coaches in this league for what he did. Think about from the first game, how he got those young guys in the middle, how they've been playing since then. Like you say, take Giovanni, put him at left tackle, and he did all right. I'm telling you, the most underrated part of our offense to me is Hank Fraley and the job that he does, man. He is awesome, man, and we're lucky to have him.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. You were there in Green Bay. You saw the communication issues. How were they able to fix that? What goes into fixing that? Like, not just with the new faces, but like, I mean, there were a couple plays where the left side of the line was running a different play than the right side of the line. And I mean, it had people freaking out. And then 1 week later, it seemed like it was fixed. It was fixed in Baltimore. It was fixed in Cincinnati. Like, what goes into actually fixing that?
So the best thing you could do is kind of dumb it down. And what I mean by that is a lot of times, if you think about it, you go into camp, you install so many plays, man. I mean, so many plays you install. You go over all these plays while you're in camp, just in case you need these plays. And a lot of times, man, sometimes you just have to dumb it down. You have to go to your best plays, what your guys run the best, and just stick with that and just run it over and over and over and over again. Now, you may change the formation, of the play. You may even change a call or two in that play, but basically it's the same play and it's the same blocking technique. And as you guys see, they were going downhill. They started double teaming more. It was more quick hitting plays. And that's what you do. I learned that from the great Sean Payton. He was my offensive coordinator in 2000. Me and Dan Campbell's offensive coordinator in 2000 and 2001. And I'm telling you, our playbook was simplistic. We didn't have a lot of plays, but we had so many formations that you can run to get to the same play where it looked different. And I think that's kind of what Hank Fraley and them did. They just dumbed it down for those guys, gave them a couple of techniques that they need to work on, and you just rep it. You just rep the things that those guys do good. And I think that's what he did for those guys in the middle of that offensive line and that offensive line period.
Yeah. So Kory asked Dan last week about his first career touchdown. And the Lions dug up video. And guess who was the first person to congratulate?
You know what? You know who told me that? It was his wife, Holly.
That's awesome.
When we were in Cincinnati, she came up to me. We were in the restaurant. She came up to me, and that's what she said. She was like, Lomas, you wouldn't believe, but you were the first person to greet Dan when he got his first touchdown. I didn't even remember that either until she told me that. So, I haven't seen that clip yet, but yeah, she was the one that told me that, man. It was amazing, man.
You were quick to him. To him.
It must have been a short throw.
1 yard. 1 yard.
There you go.
All right, we got one from Charles Bryan. He said, a little more seriously, congrats on Lomas. But are there any Lions players that you played with that you think would be Dan Campbell guys?
Oh, I got so many guys. I mean, you could start off with the guy that's in the front office, Chris Spielman. You could start with him. I tell you, a guy like Brett Perriman, Jerry Ball would be a Dan Campbell type of guy. Benny Blades would be a Dan Campbell type of guy. Mel Gray would be a Dan Campbell type of guy, how he returned punts and kickoffs. Man, Kevin Glover, all-pro center, man, guy that just was tenacious. He would be yeah, man, we got guys. That's why I was saying, you look at the talent of what we had back then. He would have had some guys that he definitely would have been able to say, yeah, that's a Dan Campbell or Brad Holmes type of guy.
That's awesome. Lomas, appreciate your time so much. I urge any fan to check out what the Lions have going on. The case for Lomas Brown, 18 seasons played, 263 games, first-team All-Pro, two-time second-team All-Pro, seven-time Pro Bowler, a Super Bowl champion, two-time NFC champion, Pride of the Lions member, and a College Football Hall of Famer.
Oh, wow. You made me sound important, Benjamin. Thank you.
That's right. You know I take care of you.
I appreciate that.
All right. That was awesome. Love Lomas Brown.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Yeah, we're going to finish off with a couple just mailbag questions. Obviously, Lions are 4-1.
Yeah.
Heading to Kansas City. The 2-3 Chiefs got beat by a real stumble bum on Monday Night Football.
A double stumble bum. I saw that live, and I'm like,
unbelievable.
What is going on?
Unbelievable. I mean, they've had such a weird season to this point. The Chiefs had still a great team.
Yeah.
Still a high-powered offense. Still a lot of good pieces on that defense. And as Lomas said, added a rookie offensive tackle that is playing his butt off right now. So, I mean, don't sleep on that. It's Lions at Chiefs, Sunday Night Football. Jared Goff has played two of the best games of his career against the Chiefs to this point, one with the Rams, one here. And just that 2023 win, man, I that season opener win against the Chiefs on the night they got their rings, that is the night that I looked back on. Like, I felt like it was real after they finished 9-8 and beat Rodgers in Green Bay. Like, I felt like this was a playoff contending team. But that game where they beat Kansas City on the road to open the season, a whole bunch of rookies, a whole bunch of young guys, new coaching staff, that was the moment that kind of like stamped this. Oh, this is a contender.
I mean, when you just look at the history of this team and like even the recent history, they normally don't win those type of games. Against
before that.
So just seeing that, it was just like, wow, you really walked into one of the hardest places to play in the league on one of their biggest nights, and you showed them up.
Yeah, it really was unbelievable. And it's Sunday Night Football back in Kansas City this weekend. It's a wild 5-game stretch coming up. I wrote about that yesterday. It is at Chiefs, Sunday Night Football. It is home, Buccaneers, Monday Night Football, bye week. Home Minnesota Vikings, the team that the Lions had to win 15 games just to win the division from last year. I know they're going through their own things too, but still a lot of talent on that team. And then it's at the Commanders and it's at the Eagles. I mean, we talked about this a little on the post-game podcast, but just we're about to learn a lot. I mean, I know we know a lot, but we're about to learn a lot.
That's a gauntlet, and that's also why I said it's imperative for them to just go into this bye week with the best record possible.
Yep.
Because not to say that I don't have any confidence there or belief that they could win those games after the bye, but it's just that, that's asking a lot to win all those.
That's tough. It's tough.
So, you're talking about a Buccaneers team that always plays them tough, a Vikings team that just any given moment can be a dogfight.
Yeah.
Commanders, we know what happened last year in the divisional round.
Jaden's back.
Then the Eagles, they have their issues on offense, but heck, look at their record still, and they're the reigning champ. So it's not going to be easy. But like you just said, I think if we're going to learn a lot about what this team is made of, and they come out this stretch, over that next 5 games, I say if they even go like somewhere like 3-2 over those next 5, I think that's.
Oh,
you couldn't ask for anything more.
If you get a win over the Bucs, Vikings, and one of the Commanders or Eagles, you should feel really good because that goes a lot of way in the division, in the NFC. Listen, these Lions can beat anybody, but this is tough. And We're going to get into a couple mailbag questions. I know we're running a little long. We had a chance to talk to Lomas and had to take that. And I think that was a good mix of current, past, and that. I appreciate all the questions there. We got more questions. Obviously, a crap ton of questions about the defensive backfield. Yeah. DJ Reed's on injured reserve. He's out at least 3 more games. Terrion Arnold is not on injured reserve, but it sounds very touch and go, as Dan Campbell said. That's just, it's been a wild ride with Terrion Arnold this week. Monday, going to be gone a long time. Next morning, out for the season. 2 hours later, might be back this month. Yesterday, probably still going to be out a while. I have no idea, guys. I talked with Terrion in the locker room yesterday, and he just said, I'm trying to get back as soon as I can. Yeah, we'll be out a few weeks. Don't know how many weeks. Sounds like they're just letting the inflammation calm down. The Lions and Terrion Arnold have both confirmed the positive second opinion. But with Khalil Dorsey also on injured reserve now, I know that it makes it thin. So Jerry Taylor and 17,000 other people want to know. I know the Lions have a next man up mentality, but with the number of long-term injuries at defensive back, don't they need to go get somebody?
I think you have to explore it. I think it's no way around it. I know there are a lot of people talking about before, the edge rusher. Right now, I think it's got to be defensive back. I mean,
yes,
you cannot continue to do what you did last year and pull guys off the street and expect them to play, quality snaps when you have this window in what you're chasing. So you're going to have to be aggressive and go make a move. I mean, also too, you lost Rakestraw really early on too. That's a guy you don't have. So it's just I think that it would be, I don't want to say malpractice, but I would say that it is imperative that they explore what's out there and go make a move.
Yeah, they've added 3 defensive backs to the practice squad in the last week. One is Trey Flowers, who looks like a literal power forward among cornerbacks at practice. Got a lot of reps under his belt. He's been not mainly, but he's played a lot of special teams in recent years. I don't think he has an interception since 18 or 19. Nick Whiteside is back. But I'm with you, and I don't know who's available for trade. Who knows, know? And last night there was a cornerback trade, so that's 2 names off the board. Tyson Campbell got literally traded for Greg Newsome. So I don't know. There was a question that was asking about Snead from Tennessee, Woolen from Seattle, even one about Minka Fitzpatrick and Denzel Brown for the Browns. I don't know. A couple of those names are going to cost a little too high. And I don't know. I think what you saw last year in the trade for Zadarius Smith is about the price Brad is willing to pay in season for someone. That doesn't mean you can't get someone solid, but I also think that there is going to be some patience here because they do think they're going to get Reed back. They do think they're going to get Arnold back, but it's not just those guys too. I mean, Dorsey, he's going to be gone a long time too, Campbell said, but Kirby Joseph's knee, he's continuing to play through it. He's continuing to play very well through it. 3 picks in 5 games. He switched from the sleeve to the bulkier knee brace. And they're already stretching their safety depth too, because Maddox is about to play the slot. Yasin, who played in the safety and training camp, is about to be the outside corner. Are you concerned at the safety depth at all? Because even Brian Branch popped on the injury report with an ankle injury this week.
I have a little bit of concern about that. I just think that I don't think they necessarily have to go swing for the fences and get a star, but I think they're going to have to go out there and at least see if there's a quality veteran available to be able to come in and play some meaningful snaps.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like you said, they're expecting Reed back. They're expecting Arnold back at some point. And, maybe you can just go out there and grab somebody that can kind of spell Joseph at times so he doesn't have to put too much on himself. But, I mean, I don't think they're in a position where they can stand pat and not make a move at the deadline.
No, I'm kind of with you, too, just because it sounds so cloudy with Arnold. And just because Reed can come back in 3 games doesn't mean he is going to come back in 3 games. I mean, he has been in the locker room. But yeah, there are some veteran names on the free agent market. I mean, there's a James Bradbury floating around out there. There's a Kendall Fuller, there's a couple. Stephon Gilmore is a name that gets thrown around a lot. I mean, he is still a free agent. I would not hate kicking the tires on something like that. I do like the addition of Trey Flowers. That's an experienced guy who is you guys, I wish you guys could see him in practice.
Yeah.
He looks a foot taller than every cornerback on the roster. Like you walk out, I remember it was Colton Pouncey. We were walking out to practice the other day. He's like, "Who is that?" Yeah, I just and going into a matchup with Kansas City and going into a matchup with the Bucks, who I know Mike Evans is still a little banged up right now, but man, that Ohio State rookie looks like a freaking stud, and just Baker is dealing right now too. But yeah, it's a little touch and go right now. I think we'll have a little better understanding of the situation by next week. But I mean, it's a really good sign that Arnold hasn't landed on injured reserve yet. But let's get into a couple more questions. Any news / updates on Pascal and Davenport? How are they healing up, and when may they be ready? Would be nice to get reinforcements from those guys being able to make a trade for a player. Yeah, Pascal, as we've said, that's very TBD.
Yeah.
Every time we've asked, it's been behind schedule. And the only thing I can offer you on Davenport is that he's already 2 weeks in, 3 weeks into the IR stint, and he was out of the sling pretty quickly too.
Yeah,
So that'd be a big one. And hey, the other good news is that Alim McNeill was a full practice participant yesterday. Do you think he plays this weekend?
I would say no. I would keep him out another week. I would keep him out another week, and then when they have the game against the Bucks, roll him out there in some limited snaps, and then let him get another week off, and then boom, full go after the bye.
I say play him.
Play him. All right.
I'm conservative when it comes to that stuff too. But the second I saw full practice participant and how they were talking him up yesterday, and how long McNeill has been rehabbing, I say play him.
Do you put him on the pitch count?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go with that then.
Don't go more than 15 or 20.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. You're playing the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. You're going into a brutal stretch. If your data and your trainers clear him and he looks good to go.
I will say this, with the issues that they have in the secondary, it would be good to have somebody out there to put a little bit of pressure on that Chiefs front.
I was just going to say that. If you can reduce the time, this banged up secondary, I got a lot of faith in Amik Robertson. I got a lot of faith in Branch and Joseph. But if you can reduce the time that those guys are left in coverage, and if you can free Hutchinson to hit Mahomes a couple times, Muhammad to hit Mahomes a couple times, McNeill to get through, stop the run with Reeder and Williams, that's a recipe for success. That's how you patch those holes in the secondary. That's why I'm kind of like, man, if you're not worried about him hurting himself or anything like that, which it kind of sounded like last week they were already almost there, because when Campbell said 50-50, we were like, what? That's wild. I mean, I think we even said that on the pod.
Even after that, I mean, Alim was just like, I'm ready to go now.
Dan Campbell said, all he needs is football. It's a very Dan Campbell quote. We got a couple voice memo questions. Once again, love these. Dungeon of Doom at MLive.com. Send in your voice memos. I'm going to play the first one. Looks like it's from Justin Daniels.
Hey guys, it's Justin, St. Louis, Missouri. Wanted to talk about Lions culture. Teams loving the Lions culture and wanting to build something like that. And I think the main problem with that is that everybody stops talking about it at the team level. When in reality, this was a entire organization rebuild from the top down, starting with Sheila Hamp. And that is what is the biggest piece of this. It's not that they rebuilt the team, brought in new coaches, and tried to have a new team culture. It was the establishment of an entire new organization culture. And that's why I don't know if you'll see other teams be able to replicate what the Lions have done, because there are a few owners that have the fortitude to look at themselves in the mirror and say, this thing needs to be blown up entirely, and to go ahead and do that from themselves all the way down to the team level. So just wanted to mention that. I think that gets overlooked a lot. Thanks, guys.
What's your response to that?
I think it's something to that.
Yeah.
Because even with Sheila coming in and rebuilding the culture, you got to remember, during Campbell's second season, there was a point where they were for fans and media were calling for him to be fired. And Sheila came out and met that void of confidence and said, hey, paraphrasing her, we believe that we have the right people in place to go ahead and turn this around. And she stuck with them. And that was a 1-6 start that ended up being 9-8.
Yeah.
And that really kicked everything off. So I think it's the fact that she knew that she had to clean house, she knew who to hire, and she knew to stuck by it.
Yeah. And the culture thing Justin talks about is like the walls and the cubicles came down. Like it was a more central, like she was more involved with the people working in the building. Like she was there. I'm not saying she's meddling in roster decisions or anything like that, but I'm just saying from everything I've heard is that she made herself of the day-to-day operation. She made herself available. She did everything she could to learn about every side of this organization and put the right people in charge.
Yeah.
With Chris Spielman, with Mike Disner, Rod Wood, career resurrection from his start in Detroit. I mean, he is a major factor in all this too. Put him in the right spots, got Dan, got Brad. And I mean, this is what it looks like when you have a front office and an ownership group that believes in each other, that feeds off of each other. Their strengths pick up each other's weaknesses and fill in all the gaps like that. I mean, this open line of collaboration and communication does start with Sheila, because guess what? I mean, they hired Dan Campbell, and it on the team level, it's Dan Campbell. I've never seen NFL players talk about their coach the way they talk about Dan Campbell here.
I mean, yeah, just even the newcomer guys like, Roy Lopez, Grant Stewart. I mean, Roy just came. I'll never forget this moment when Roy, he had his foot stepped on, so he was missing a couple of days, but he was just walking off the field, and he just turned around and looked back and kind of like shook his head a little bit. And I say, "Hey, what's going on?" He just like, "This is what it's supposed to be like. This locker room, this vibe around here. Like, this is why." He's basically like, "This is why I play."
That's it right there. And I just so when we talked to Terrion Arnold in the locker room yesterday, he kind of said he had been going through some off-field stuff with his family. It wasn't just the performance, like he had some off-field stuff going on. And he just talked about just meeting with Dan Campbell and Deshae Townsend and Calvin Shepard and how they made him feel. I would play the audio, but music was blasting at 6,000 miles an hour. But this is what Terrion Arnold said about Dan Campbell, and I think this really puts it into perspective, quote unquote. He just prides himself on this building being a safe haven for us, like being one of those things where he's the type of coach that really cares for his players, and he means it. He shows it. That was one of those things where, like, quote unquote, dang, coach, you really have my back, and you really mean what you say, quote unquote. Just being able to have that sign of relief, you can see it in my performance. Campbell and Arnold both said that was his best game played in a long time. He credited Townsend, he credited Campbell, he credited Shepard for keeping his spirits high, for just being real and just like letting him vent about the things going on in his life, letting him talk to them, feeling the support, seeing the support. And I just think, sure, some teams have that, but as we've said a million times, Dan Campbell is genuine. He's real. He's been in those shoes before. And he's not just a former player that's a good head coach. I mean, he's a great head coach who is able to tap into his experiences as a player. And you've seen it since the end of 2021 to now, just what these guys say about him, what his fellow coaches say about him, and the success of this team speaks for itself.
Hi, guys. My question is about Alim, hopefully coming back soon, but having to make room for him on the roster. Any chance we trade Chris Smith to the New York Jets so Aaron Glenn can have a familiar face to help out the culture and that current mess of a team there? Maybe a swap of draft picks or something along those lines. Also, what's the deal with Mekhi Wingo not getting any run? Is he in danger of getting cut or traded, or just hasn't been part of Shep's specific game plans due to the opponents we've been facing lately?
That was Eric from Chicago. I don't know. Listen, Chris Smith is on the main roster, but he's been a healthy scratch every game this year. If you're telling me if someone's got to go from the main roster to the practice squad, that is the likely choice, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, No disrespect, but it's like,
no disrespect at all. No. It's been a healthy scratch every step of the way. The defensive line is deep. I know we got another question about Wingo. I believe that was also from Eric. Nice combo on the text to audio question. Eric, we asked about Wingo earlier this week too. Played 36 snaps in Chicago, and then has not been seen from since. And it kind of was just the flow of things. Tyler Lacey has really stepped into the big end role, the Muhammad ascent to what he's been doing, and McNeill coming back. But I do look at Chris Smith's spot as in jeopardy with McNeill coming back. McNeill is still on PUP in that 21-day return window, but there's no trade value to Chris Smith's name, respectfully.
Yeah,
respectfully.
Yeah, probably go to practice squad designation if somebody chooses to sign them off of that. I mean,
Yep. Another longtime listener, Raymond Nuznoff here. Got a question. Love these voice memos.
Hello, Ben and Kory. This is Raymond Nuznoff, longtime listener, first-time voice message emailer. I'm just curious, will we ever see the Detroit Lions in uniforms that aren't monocolored? I know they love the blueberries at home and the whiteouts on the road, but they have some great combinations and they refuse to wear them. Do we need to start a petition? How can I get this plea to the right people in the Lions organization?
Ray, you came to the right person. You came to the right person. I am 100% with you. I am so sick of the monochromatic look. There's no stripe on those pants. If there was a stripe on the white pants or the blue pants, that look would look so great. Another factor that plays into it for me is how good the home looks with the gray pants, man. That makes me feel like I'm in the 90s again. That's their best look. I will just say this. The captains vote on what jersey pants to wear each week. The top is selected, because you have to pick when you're doing your alternate or your home or away, but they vote on the pants. So that's a captain thing. Am I crazy?
No, I think that
Nolan calls me crazy.
No, it's a classic look. It looks really good. I would like to see him, try it out a lot more.
I like the blue pants with the white tops on the road, and I like the gray pants with the blue tops at home. Nike,
get it together.
You spend years coming up with these jerseys, and it's just plain white pants.
Yeah, the plain white pants it's very bland. It's like it's not exciting. It's like blah.
This is. I was joking with Rich Silva the other day. Like, you know what my least favorite part of watching the All-22 is? These monochromatic jerseys. So you came to me. I'm 100% with you. I miss the gray pants. I would wear the gray pants every single game outside of the alternate days. It got stripes. It looks good. It matches the helmet. I'm with you, man. If there were a stripe on the blue pants, I think I'd like the blueberries more. I hate how the plain blue pants look, too.
It looks a little... I mean, I like the blueberries. Like I said, if there was like a stripe on there, that would just make them pop out a lot more.
They did such a good job with this redesign. These jerseys are fantastic. Yeah. That is not what I'm saying here. It's the combination that drives me nuts. I hate the plain pants. Passionately. The helmet is beautiful. The jerseys are beautiful. I hate black jerseys, but I love what y'all did there too. Like, those are sick.
Yeah, let's fix these pants.
No monochromatic pants. It's the players, though, so respect. I think it's probably superstitious, too.
Maybe that might be something.
We've heard that before. All right, Danny Boy in the sky. That's fun to say. If Decker can't go, can we just put Manu and Skip next to each other in a jumbo package all game? I'll frame it like this. Do you think Dan Skipper starts this weekend?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think they might go ahead and give Manu another shot.
Another shot for Manu? You think? Yeah? I'm having a tough time with this one, too. I'm just grilling you for a little bit.
I'll say this. I think they give him another shot just out the gate to see how he looks on the first couple drives.
Yeah.
But if it's not looking too good, then I can see, do a quick switch to Skipper, because just like Lomas said, I mean, having him out there with Hendrickson for that first game, that's a tough test out the gate.
You are battle tested. Welcome to the NFL. Yeah. Absolutely.
That also kind of reminds me of like with week 1, we know Christian Mahadi didn't have his greatest game, and he owned it. And he said, hey, these are things that are fixable. They can be corrected. And since then, Christian looked great.
This is why I grilled you, because you just convinced me. Yes, start Manu. I think benching him immediately, I don't think he would take it like the end of the world, because he's very with it, guys. Yeah. Like, he's very honest and understands life in the NFL. He is wise beyond his years. I'll say that. He's very open and honest too. And also, Decker, not on IR. He's got a chance. Like, if that shoulder heals up and they feel like it gets to a point where like, I guess. So we'll see on Decker. I would imagine they're going to let Decker rest this one too. I mean, Dan Campbell said multiple times, this guy just needs rest. Whenever you say we're getting diminishing returns on an injury that you had off-season surgery for, it's about the long haul. So we'll see what happens there. If they sat him last week, I think they might do it again. I'm 20%, 80% Decker doesn't play. If he doesn't, start Manu. Skipper's on the main roster now.
Mhm.
If it goes very badly, Dan Skipper has been a fill-in replacement piece for his entire career. So no harm, no foul there. So yeah, that's why I pressed you. We're getting long. Lomas was worth it. We gotta I gotta answer Phil's question. Would you rather cover JMO or Saint? I'm gonna take I'd rather cover JMO because the death would be quicker. But
Yeah,
that's no disrespect to Saint. I just that you would drag me into the ocean and drown me, as Dan Campbell would say.
Yeah, Saint is like chasing that guy all over the field. I'm not with that. Nah, just take me out the game.
Just beat me deep. That's awesome. Let's see here. Blake Berry wants to know, where does the linebacker core rank against the rest of the league? Man, I'm top 5.
Yeah.
Because I think Jack Campbell's playing like one of the best linebackers in the league. I think Alex Anzalone is one of the most underrated linebackers in the league. And I think Derek Barnes is proven why they gave him that big deal in the offseason, man. That's a versatile piece.
I was about to say, Derek Barnes, you can pretty much use him in so many different ways. I believe Kelvin Shepard said he can pretty much play in 4 or 5 different spots.
Yep.
Alex Anzalone, he's your captain. He's your most steady piece, a guy that can also go out there and drop in coverage if needed. We've seen him out there, and then pass deflections, intercept. Just got an interception, and then Jack Campbell just a tackling machine.
Yeah.
So I mean, you have to put them up there one of the top units. I think they have the second best defense right now in the league. So I mean,
yeah. I mean, Jack Campbell is playing out of his freaking mind, guys. I mean, he is a run stopper. He is getting better in coverage. You saw what he did in the spy looks. You've seen what he did. And shout out Trevor Nowatzki, too.
Yeah.
Because when he's been on the field, man, I'm still blown away about what he did in Baltimore, too. So, I mean, this room goes deep.
And you still got a guy coming back in Malcolm Rodriguez soon. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And Grant Stewart is fit like a glove. They love Ty Summers. Zach Cunningham still dealing with a hamstring injury, but that's a deep room, man. I easily top 5. I don't know specifically. That would be a whole nother topic. But, man, with the way Jack is coming, with how underrated I think Alex is, that's a top 5 unit. This is one of our longest podcasts in a long time. As I said, Lomas is worth it. You guys were awesome with some of the questions this week. I really appreciate it. We're going to keep hitting social media for those questions, but also, as always, Dungeon of Doom at MLive.com. You can send a text question if you don't want your name out there on social media and stuff like that. As you saw today, 3 voice memos. We had a couple other we just couldn't get to this week. Thank you to those. Sorry we didn't get to everyone's question this week. I hope the Lomas Brown interview was worth it for y'all, but all you got to do is on your computer or your phone, record a 30 to 45-second voice memo, say your name, where you're from, ask the question like you're calling into a radio show. We're making podcasts old again.
I love it.
But I would love to get into all these questions. You guys really did bring it this week, but we're at 50 minutes and we need predictions. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Ooh, when I started my predictions this season, I had Lions winning this game. I'm going to flip. I think that is just with the secondary situation.
Yep.
And the fact that I have some concerns about their play in the fourth quarter. I mean, they just gave up 21 to Jake Browning. This ain't Jake Browning. This is Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs, I think they're going to be playing desperate because they're already down in the hole. Another loss, I don't want to say it ends their season, but it pushes them more towards the brink. I think they're going to come out desperate and on fire, and I think Mahomes is going to attack that secondary really hard. I'm going 35-28 Chiefs.
Okay. I predicted this as a loss in my game-by-game predictions. I am changing.
Oh, we're doing it.
I am changing my pick.
Okay.
I'm changing my pick. I have been taught, don't pick against Dan Campbell in prime time.
Oh, yeah.
Don't pick against his team in prime time. Don't pick against Jared Goff against the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah. I just think this offense can carry the load. I have a ton of faith in Amik Robertson. This is an ultimate test for Kelvin Shepard, who has aced the test to this point by moving pieces around, answering the call. He's got quite the challenge this week with Reed, Arnold, and Dorsey out. Joseph battling the knee. Branch a little banged up at the ankle. I I told you guys, I'm at 110% on this team. This is the best team in the league. This is the best offense in the league. This defense is punching above its weight class before McNeill comes back, before Rodrigo comes back, before Reed comes back, before Davenport comes back, before Arnold comes back. I'm taking the Lions 38-24.
I'm telling you right now, if they're with all of the injuries in the secondary, if they're able to neutralize Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to tell y'all right now, don't expect Kelvin Shepherd to be around here real long. I'm not saying he's going to be in and out immediately. I'm not saying that.
And he's saying promotion, not other way.
Yeah, I'm just saying that you have to – he's already getting eyes on him as it is already for what he's done with Glenn's departure. You continue to change things up, and now you neutralize Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes under your belt. As a first-time coordinator, that the star on you is going to get the light on you is going to get a little bit brighter.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm with you.
I'm sticking with it, but if they pull it out, I mean, again, Shepard, you're a bad man if you figure this one out.
I'm telling you. Yeah. So there you go. Like I said, Dungeon of Doom at MLive.com. Email those text questions, voice memos. We'll be back. Oh, God. Primetime game. We'll be recording around 2:30 a.m. on Monday morning. Can't wait. I do love Arrowhead. I do love this. This is one of those games you don't have to work to get fired up for. We'll be back. I'm Ben Raven. He's Kory Woods. We are your MLive Dungeon of Doom podcast. Thanks again to Lomas Brown. Check out that case for Lomas Brown Hall of Fame website the Lions have set up. If you don't know where to find it, shoot me an email, braven@mlive.com, and I'll help you out. But hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. We balanced some different things going on.
Yeah.